Okay.
Well, it's Monday morning, April the 26th, Pam's 58th birthday, 7:26 a.m. I'm in this parking lot at Springer Mountain, and I'm heading north. I want to thank Bear and Julie so much for all that they've done for me, especially the trip down here and just the support they've given. I'm going to head on up the trail. Talk to you later on.
Is that far enough?
That's good. Well, here I am on top of Springer Mountain. I was just telling the Lord, I can hardly believe I'm here. Beautiful sunrise. I have chosen a beautiful day to go off. Goodness gracious. It's high 40s, a little bit of a breeze, keeping it good and cool. So I've made the 9/10 of a mile hike up to the top of Springer, and there it is. Appalachian National Scenic Trail, Springer Mountain. The elevation here is 3,782 feet. And I believe right over here is the official first white blaze. Appalachian Trail, Georgia to Maine, a footpath for those who seek fellowship with the wilderness. I would say that describes me to a T. There's our first official white blaze. I'll give you an idea of what the view is. It's not spectacular, but it is not overcast this morning, so I do have a view. See if you can actually see me and the view. Isn't that beautiful? So that's looking west. Sun's rising over here in the east. I'm getting ready to head back down the trail. Of course, I'm going to sign the trail register first, but I'm so excited about being here, thanking the Lord for it. Didn't sleep a lot last night, though I was so excited I knew I would. I only slept about 4 hours, but 4 hours is plenty. If I can get 4 hours at least for the next week or so a night, I'll be fine with that. I get into town, I can catch up a little bit. Anyway, I don't want to monopolize this and spend all day. I'll post a video probably in the first 2 or 3 days and give you some more information about what's transpiring today. Well, this is Long Creek Falls, about 6 miles into the hike, just before 9:30. Beautiful stream here. I'll fill up my bottle here. Look at that spray coming off. That isn't that spectacular? This is the Blue Blaze Trail, so I allowed myself to come off trail about 2/10 of a mile to see this. Beautiful, pristine falls. I'm really impressed. Having a good morning, making good time. I'm gonna treat a couple of hot spots, have a little snack, and then head on up the mountain. First real view of the day. I just came out of Horse Gap, climbed about I don't know, probably half, 3/4 of a mile up. Going up, I'll have to check the map and see which mountain this is, but about 11 miles in, just after lunchtime, just after noon. So I'm about 4.5 miles in. Hoping to make at least 20 to 22 today. I'll check in later. Not really much to talk about now, but I do think I've got another view coming up in the next little while. Well, this is Woody Gap, officially trail mile 20.5, adding the 9/10 of a mile that I had to do up to the top of Springer. That puts me at 21.4 for the day. There's a stream about 2/10 of a mile from here. I think I'm gonna throw my camp up somewhere there. It's about 4 o'clock. I can hike another hour or so and get up to Lance Creek, but I'm tired. A lot of climbing today. Good day though, productive day. Met a lot of thru hikers. I'll talk about that more later, but interesting, and it seems like 75% of them were from Florida. This is the parking lot at Woody Gap. Great thing about it is you got garbage cans. And Shannon Champion, if you're watching this, there's a pit toilet right over here. I know you never use it, but I'm going to. All right, I'll get to camp a little while, get everything set up, and then I'll talk a little more. Well, good morning. Day number 2. Welcome to Unicoi Gap. This is my water source this morning. The pipe flowing from this natural stream, and it is a perfect little water source. I am so grateful for this. Little update. I was kind of tired when I got into camp last night. And, gosh, I did 23.1 miles. Camped about a half mile north of big cedar ledges. It's pretty. I had some pretty views, but I just wore myself out. I was so tired. Couldn't enjoy myself. Couldn't eat much for dinner last night. Typical. I don't eat much, unfortunately, the first few days on the trail. But got up this morning at about 4:45, 5 o'clock. Kind of just sat around trying to take in a few calories this morning. Got on the trail about 5:45, and I think I've gone about 3.5, 4 miles. I'm nearing Blood Mountain. Blood Mountain's the biggest climb of the morning, obviously. I think it's close to a 2-mile climb, and then once I crest Blood Mountain, it's basically downhill about 2.5 miles to Neal's Gap. So when I get to Neal's Gap, I'm going to really calorie up there. I stopped at this little stream and ate as many calories and drank as many as I could. I think I got in about 400, maybe 500 calories, but since yesterday morning at 7:30, I'm probably looking at about an 8,000 calorie deficit, so I've got to keep getting some calories into me. I'll check in later. Might have a view on, there is a view on top of Blood Mountain. I'll definitely get a couple of photos from up there. And then when I get down into Neal Gap, might check in again there. So I'm at the summit of Blood Mountain. This is the Blood Mountain shelter. I'm not going to do a whole tour of it. I did that on a section hike video several years ago. This is the view. It's a little hazy this morning. I'm going to catch a better view going down the mountain though, and I'll take a picture from there. But I just wanted to let you know I officially made it up. Easier hike than I expected. I've done this hike southbound and northbound. I'd say the southbound hike is definitely harder. More switchbacks northbound. But beautiful hike. Fortunately, I tried to consume about 600 calories down in, one of the gaps. The name just escaped me. So I had plenty of energy to make it up the mountain. Heading now to Neal Gap. A little over 2 miles. I'll crush some calories when I get there. When I was here a couple of years ago, I was here a little later in the season, and the rhododendron, the mountain laurel, and the azaleas are all in bloom. It was spectacular. But I'm going to be probably a couple or 3 weeks early. Checking in later. Well, that's the sound of civilization. I am just coming in to Neal Gap, also alternatively known as Neal's Gap Mountain Crossings, or Walisi Yi, I believe is the Cherokee name. Not really sure what it means. This is the first real sign of civilization on the trail. We're, I don't know, maybe 31 miles in, something like that. It's, what time is it? It's about 10:07. So, doing pretty well this morning. Could have been worse. I've always heard one of the most dangerous parts of the trail is crossing the street here. So I guess we're going to see if that's the case. Some porta potties over there. This is famously known as the only spot on the AT where the trail actually crosses through a building. And that's where it goes. I'm gonna get some food here and check in later. This is a particularly beautiful section of the trail. I'm about, I don't know, 3.5, maybe 4 miles north of Neal's Gap. Good little climb coming out of there, but these beautiful flowers. Pam, this is for you, darling. I know you'd love it. Well, good Wednesday morning from Unicoi Gap. I got up early this morning. It's up just after 4, on the trail just before 5. Trying to make a pretty big day before it gets too hot. It was brutally hot yesterday afternoon, so I'm hoping to make more miles this morning. Unicoi Gap is at 2,949 feet in elevation. Got a couple of climbs. I believe I got a big climb up to the top of maybe Tree Mountain. I'm here, Indian Grave Gap, Tree Gap, and Tree Mountain. Yeah, I'm going to go to Tree Mountain. You see the mountain there. Tree Mountain's my biggest climb, I think, of the morning. I don't know about the day, but anyway, making good time, good spirits. I was hoping there'd be some trail magic here. This is a usual suspect for trail magic, but no biggie. I'll hit the trail. Yesterday, I don't think I gave you an update. Yesterday, I did 20.2 to Low Gap. Spent the night at the shelter area there. I did go down to the shelter, met some folks, enjoyed my time with them. None of those are through hikers that are keeping my pace, and not that I'm killing it or anything, but I haven't found anybody yet that I'm going to spend a lot of time with. I did find some section hikers yesterday that I spent most of the day with, but anyway, I'll check in later on. Have a good day. So Swag of the Blue Ridge apparently has something to do with the saddle between peaks in this area. I've seen this sign on so many blogs before. Wasn't really sure exactly where it was, but I've heard people talk about it. Had a little bit of issue with my left knee. It's killing me when I'm coming downhill. I'm okay going uphill. Downhill's killing me. I don't know if it's an IT band issue or, you know, I've had pain in that knee before, especially with severe climbs, but man, I was doing great until I came down off the back of Tree Mountain after, gosh, I was 15, 16 miles into the hike today, and it just started hurting. So I'm gonna get to camp hopefully in the next hour and a half or so, and maybe 2 hours. Then I'm gonna hopefully find some water, try to get it as cold as I possibly can. And then I'm gonna take some more ibuprofen. Hope that'll get me into North Carolina. Once I finish the day, I think I should only be about 12 to 13 miles from North Carolina. So kind of looking forward to that. Checking in, well, sometime later. Well, good Thursday morning from the trail. It's 7:51. Been on the trail about an hour and 15 minutes. Not that, really, about an hour and 6 minutes. But my knee issue still hasn't subsided. I'm really a little concerned about it, so I'm gonna narrow into Around the Bend Hostel. I needed to do that anyway for a resupply, so I'm gonna stop there. They're gonna take me into Hiawassee. I'm gonna buy a knee brace, maybe 2 knee braces. I've hiked in knee braces most of my adult life, and recently my knees have felt strong, and I thought, well, that's just one less thing to carry. But also, knee braces tend to abrade the back of my knees, and it's really uncomfortable after a while. But I don't think I can do without it. So plan is today. I had so desperately, today's Thursday, I desperately wanted to get to North Carolina. It's only 8.1 miles from Dix Creek Gap, where I'm heading right now. The hostel's only 0.6 of a mile road walk once I get off the mountain. But I really wanted to make North Carolina today. It's just a pride thing. The Lord is reminding me that pride goes before a fall, because I wanted to get out here the first week and average 20 miles, and I did. First 3 days, I averaged 22.1 miles, but at a cost. I mean, obviously that knee issue is probably related to the number of miles that I did so quickly. So if I'm going to finish this thing, I've got to listen to my body, and I've got to taper back some. So I think I'm going to start cutting my miles back to 15 to 18 a day for at least the next week or so. See how my body does with that. I'm going to post a video. I hope to post a video when I get to the hospital. I'm pretty sure they've got Wi-Fi. I'll post this first video and maybe give you a little introduction to the hostel and the hostel owners. But I wanted to say a shout out. I know that these guys probably aren't watching my video, but Travis and Mike, a couple of former Air Force service members, got out of the Air Force 3 or 4 years ago and have maintained their friendship, and they were down section hiking from Springer to Deep Gap, North Carolina, about 115, 120 miles. I spent the last 2 days kind of leapfrogging them and got to know them, good boys. So a shout out to them. Also John, that I met at the hospital last night, a brother, and not the hospital, at the shelter. I stayed at Deep Gap Shelter last night, by the way. So I'm just rambling now. I did see my first snake this morning. I was coming up the first little climb up to Powell Mountain this morning out of the campsite and almost stepped on a small copperhead. He was probably 12 to 14 inches long and sprawled right across the trail, and he didn't move at all. I think he was probably asleep, or it was relatively cool at that time. I don't know if you can hear it, but I hear the sounds of civilization. Trucks, cars passing down on the highway. So I'm obviously close to Dix Creek Gap. So, pray for me. Pray that my knee gets stronger, that I don't have any more issues, and I don't do anything to compensate for that and injure some other part of my body. And also pray that I can continue to take in calories. I'm still struggling with that, though. I did eat 4 or 5 crackers last night after I forced myself to eat about half a Mountain House. Then I ate 4 or 5 crackers, and I wasn't revolted by the taste of those. So maybe slowly but surely I'll get there. I'm going to change my diet, at least for the next week or so, to things that are a lot more savory. I tell myself this every hike, but I don't heed my own advice. You gotta make sure it's savory, salty, spicy, because those are the kinds of things my body wants to take in and crave. I might just keep you with me. The hostel owners say that I'm to cross the highway here and walk with traffic. They say it's safer that way. You know, I've been running and biking over the years, and oh my gosh, here's more trail magic. By the way, this is my second trail magic. Let's see what's in here. I don't need anything right now, but if I were going farther north, I would. Oh, nope, it's empty. Looks like somebody's going to restock it today. Probably soft drinks or Gatorade. But I'm heading down to the hostel. Later. Out of camp. Well, here I am at the Around the Bend Hostel. Just about 10 miles from the North Carolina-Georgia border. Had to stop here to do a resupply, also to get my knee taken care of. Hoping that a knee brace will take care of most of that pain. But I'm going to go ahead and try, hopefully, to get this video uploaded today, so I'll finally have something out there for you guys to take a look at. Sorry it's taken me a while, but I didn't have any decent Wi-Fi until today. So, hope all are well. I'll check in later.